Hello, everyone. I would just like to say thank you so much for coming here today. I'd like to welcome everybody here to Bella Square at 94 Eastdale in Toronto. We are very excited to have our project starting to lease, and we will be having people move in shortly. We would also like to thank the government for their support in making this project happen. We are excited today to have our Deputy Prime Minister here with us. She's toured some of our units and saw our beautiful building, and I'd like to welcome her today and introduce her to you. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much, Brianne. It really has been a pleasure to be here. We even had some debates. There are two different finishes. There's the light finish, the dark finish. I think we found there's a gender divide, right? We tended to prefer the light finish, and the guys were more preferring the dark finish. Anyway, really, really beautiful apartments. Wonderful to see what is actually being built and nearly finished for people to move into in, literally a matter of a couple of months. So good afternoon. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we're gathered on the traditional territories of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. I am so glad to be back home in Toronto and to be here in East York today. To share more great news for the people of our great city. Okay. Last week, I was at Yonge and Eglinton, standing in front of the construction workers who are building 2,700 new rental homes across Toronto through our apartment construction loan program. And today, we are standing in front of 484 new rental homes that Toronto families will soon be able to move into. If I got this right, people are going to start moving in February, start unpacking. And 108 of these apartments, or 30%, will have below market rent. These new homes will be located in the heart of our communities. There's going to be a dog park and a swimming pool. They are very close to public transit, close to public schools, and for young people, for young families looking for a place to call home, parents looking for somewhere to raise their kids, and seniors who are in search of a new home to live out their retirement. This is a great community, and these are going to be beautiful places for people to rent and make great lives in. This project is just a short walk from the Main Street subway station, steps away from the Secord Public School and the Secord Community Center. As I said, there's going to be a swimming pool and a dog park. I was excited to see both of those. This is exactly the kind of housing that Toronto needs the most. It is the kind of housing that cities across Canada really need. And that is why we are working together with municipalities, with provinces, with private sector builders, like the people here, and with not-for-profits to build even more rental housing from coast to coast to coast. And I would just like to take a minute to acknowledge the construction workers we see here. Some of them may be taking a bit of a break. So, hi, thank you very much for your hard work. It is the skilled tradespeople whose hands and whose brains build the homes we need. And I'm really, really grateful to you. And Canada is grateful to you. So thank you very much. On Tuesday, I tabled the Fall Economic Statement for 2023. This was the newest phase in our government's economic plan, a plan which is focused on continuing to support the Canadian middle class and on building more homes faster. Building on the significant action we have already taken through our economic plan, including this fall alone, I announced this week new measures to build thousands upon thousands upon thousands of new homes across the country and to build them faster. We are unlocking billions of dollars in new financing, money that will go towards supporting the construction of new homes, just like the beautiful apartments behind me for Canadians. And that includes $15 billion in additional low-cost financing through the Apartment Construction Loan Program, which will support projects just like the one we are at today, and which is supporting projects exactly like this one. In fact, which is supporting this one. The program started in 2017, and before the fall economic statement, $25 billion in low-cost financing in total had been put into that program to be available exactly for projects like this one. Now, the good news is, up until the day of the fall economic statement, Tuesday morning, there about little more than $17 billion of that financing had been used, financing this project and many other great projects across the country. So there was just $8 billion left. And we know Canadians need more than $8 billion worth of new homes. And that's why on Tuesday morning, I was so pleased to top up this essential program with another $15 billion in financing. On Tuesday, last Tuesday, when I was just north of Yonge and Eglinton, the builders there said to me, this apartment financing loan construction program has made this project possible. We want to build more, but we're worried the money is running out. I wanted to say to them then, don't worry, I am going to announce in a week some more money to top up the program. And when I had a chance to tour these apartments and talk to the people who are building them, they told me that, I hope I'm not going to be revealing any secrets, but they told me they want to build more than 400 additional apartments in this area. And they would like to apply to this apartment loan construction program to finance those apartments. So the good news for all of you guys is we've added another $15 billion so that when that $8 billion that is left there is used up, and we want it to be used up as quickly as possible because we want new homes to be built, there's going to be another $15 billion in the program waiting for you guys to get building. No pressure, though. On Tuesday, we also announced a new Canadian Mortgage Charter. The Canadian Mortgage Charter details the tailored mortgage relief that Canadians at risk can expect from their banks if they are in financial difficulty. Because our goal is to help Canadians through a really challenging time by making sure Canadians at risk have the support they need to afford their mortgages and keep their homes when renewing at a time of higher interest rates. We're also supporting nonprofit, co-op, and public housing providers. We'll be helping to cut the red tape that prevents construction workers from moving across the country to build homes, and we'll be bringing to Canada more of the skilled trades workers that our construction sector needs, like the great people we see right here who've been building these truly beautiful apartments. We're also cracking down on short-term rentals listed on sites like Airbnb and Vrbo, which are keeping far too many homes off the market in communities and cities right across the country, including here in Toronto. And that's just what we're doing this week. Nous aidons également plus de 250 000 Canadiennes et Canadiens à acheter leur premier logement grâce à notre nouveau compte d'épargne libre d'impôt pour l'achat d'une première propriété. Et ce chiffre continue de grimper. Le gouvernement fédéral possède plus de terres que n'importe qui d'autre au Canada, et nous allons y construire plus de logements. Nous supprimons la TPS sur les nouvelles constructions de logements locatifs afin de rendre ce travail plus abordable pour les constructeurs. Et nous allons discuter cela aussi avec l'équipe qui travaille ici. Nous construisons et réparons des centaines de milliers de logements et nous finançons la construction de dizaines de milliers d'autres. Nous avons interdit les investissements étrangers dans le secteur du logement au Canada et nous voyons à ce que les personnes qui s'adonnent à la revente précipitée de propriétés payent leur juste part. Nous réduisons les coûts pour les familles qui souhaitent construire des logements secondaires. De plus, nous avons signé des ententes avec des villes de tout le pays afin de réduire les formalités administratives qui empêchent la construction de logements et en échange, nous leur fournissons de nouveaux fonds pour construire plus de 100 000 nouveaux logements plus rapidement. Why are we doing all of this? We're doing it because we know Canada needs more homes and we need more of them fast. Our government is doing our part and we're approaching this task with the purpose, drive, and intensity that it requires, that it demands. We're going to keep working day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year to build the homes that Torontonians and all Canadians need, expect, and deserve. Thank you very much, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. But give me a minute to move my papers because they're blowing around.
Et merci beaucoup d'être venu aujourd'hui.
Thank you very much.
If you have any questions, if you could just come line up at the microphone and state your name and media outlet before asking your question, that would be great. Thanks.
Yeah, and I couldn't hear a word that Alex said, so I might ask you to repeat yourself.
For sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
great.
better than I could
Cool.
hear Alex, that's for sure.
David Lau with CBC News. Thanks for having me here today, Minister. My question for you today is, MPs on the House of Commons Finance Committee have asked you to reject the RBC-HSBC merger, citing the lack of competition in the country's financial sector. Some opposition leaders and NGOs also oppose the deal, saying that blocking it is a clear step the government could take to address affordability concerns. Do you agree that fewer banking choices for Canadians would mean higher prices?
Okay, I'm really sorry. I didn't hear most of the question, but I heard the words RBC and HSBC, so I'm going to answer in that general space, okay?
Yes. My question for you is, do you agree that fewer banking choices for Canadians would mean higher prices in the context of the merger?
Okay, so thank you very much for the question. The proposed acquisition of HSBC by RBC is right now under regulatory review by the Competition Bureau and by OSFI. And as Finance Minister, it is my job to ensure the proper regulatory process is followed and that I receive the reviews from those two official bodies. As it is under review, I'm not going to make any further comments at this time.
Yes, follow-up. Would you block this merger?
This is a serious transaction with serious implications for Canada and Canadians, for the Canadian economy, and for the investment climate in Canada. There are in Canada formal regulatory processes which are followed in an instance like this one. Our government is, of course, following those. They involve a review by the Competition Bureau. They involve a review by OSFI and a formal recommendation from OSFI to me, the Finance Minister. In a matter like this one, as Finance Minister, I have a quite formal regulatory role, and as this process is before me and the regulatory bodies, I don't have any further comment.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks very much. That concludes today's press conference. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Sorry that we froze to death. And thank you for joining me, seeing these really beautiful rental apartments that will provide great housing for people in Toronto, including some affordable housing. Thank you very much.